Here's why election polls showing Biden's lead are wrong again, just like they were in 2016. It's any presidential candidate's nightmare come true to win the popular vote but lose the election. And that, as we all know, is exactly what happened to an overly confident Hillary Clinton back in 2016. While this Democratic loophole may seem strange to many foreigners, it's what shapes the electoral race in America. But how exactly are the current elections shaping up this 2020? Pandemic aside, numbers are looking pretty similar as they did back in 2016, and there's a good chance that history will repeat itself in November. Keep watching as we uncover why today's polls are just as wrong as they were before and will not reflect what's about to happen in a few weeks' time. If you were surprised by the outcome back then, you'd better prepare to face this year's election results because some of today's revelations will leave you in shock. If you want more videos like this one, please let us know with a like and subscribe. And be sure to turn on the bell icon to get notified. Let's begin. So, how did we get here? The first question many outsiders find themselves asking is why the national poll isn't that important for the US presidential election. It seems odd that a country that sets itself out to be the champion of freedom and democracy should have such a strange system as the Electoral College that would allow a minority to rule over the majority. Truth be told, it's not something that happens every election, but 5 times out of 45 is still a pretty shocking number. The most recent two who suffered the irony of the US electoral system were Al Gore and Hillary Clinton. Hillary won the popular vote by almost 3 million votes, but lost the Electoral College by a landslide. It's a flaw in the system that the number of elector votes in each state are not distributed according to the state's popular votes, and the winner-takes-all model can literally propel a less popular candidate to the White House. But for better or for worse, it's the system that has been in place ever since 1824, and if things go the way they're likely to, it'll be around for its 200th birthday in 2024. What do polls say right now? Well, if you're watching this video, you know the general gist of things. The media is reporting Biden currently ahead in the race. By how much, though, depends on who you talk to. The more conservative or cautious pollsters put Biden's lead to 9.5 points over Trump. Others suggest about 12 to 13 points, while the more dramatic are calling for a 15-point advantage. This wasn't always so, though, and most analysts agree that if it wasn't for the coronavirus pandemic that destroyed our economy, the racial inequalities that put the country in a sharp divide after George Floyd's death, and the way in which Trump handled these affairs, it would be the president in office who would be chilling on a margarita waiting for an easy second term. However, the lead that Biden has over Trump from the polls may end up meaning little to nothing if he doesn't win the swing states, such as Florida in particular, which is what brings us to the main point of our video. Why Trump will win again, proving the polls wrong again. We'll lay it all out for you, so don't miss a second of what's to come in this video, because things are about to get real, as you're about to see. Let's break down the case for Trump's victory one step at a time, from the ludicrous and supernatural to the hard facts of history. Conspiracy theories and prophecies. Would you expect Donald Trump to publicly admit that he's trailing in the polls? Of course not! The first thing that any Trump supporter will say when confronted with poll results that show the president losing is that the results are either biased or completely made up as a part of a massive mainstream news media conspiracy to unseat the president from the White House. Fake news are wrong because the conservative silent majority don't answer polls. You will also find the intelligent ones who will look you in the eye and say, so what we're trailing will win either way. Is it denial, or are they onto something? You'll have to wait a bit for that answer, but in the meantime, you should know that apart from these conspiracy theories, there is also a horde of modern-day prophets and pastors that claim that they have talked to God and were revealed the outcome of the 2020 election. From a retired firefighter who heard the Lord telling him that Trump would be a 2-term president way back in 2011, to a more elaborate best-selling thesis from Jonathan Cahn, who claims that Trump is the Trumpet Man, a reincarnation of King Cyrus, whom God sent to the world to help the Jewish people reclaim the land that belongs to them. We'll come back to these theories and prophecies at the end of the video, so stay tuned to the very end and hit the like right now. How's it hanging in these 8 swing states? The electoral system sets the race for candidates to fight for votes from a total of 538 electors that are spread out across all the states, and to obtain an absolute majority of 270 votes to win the presidency. While there are many states that are traditionally either Republican or Democrat, there's a varying list of about 8 to 13 states where the real battles are fought and the race won or lost. These are known as the swing states, states that sometimes favor one party and other times favor the other party. For the 2020 election, these following 8 states are considered the most competitive swing states in decreasing order on number of elector votes. These include Florida, 29 votes, Pennsylvania, 20 votes, Ohio, 18 votes, Michigan, 16 votes, North Carolina, 15 votes, Arizona, 11 votes, Wisconsin, 10 votes, and Iowa, 6 votes. Because of the winner-takes-all model, swing states with a large number of elector votes are extremely critical. Polls don't matter. Professor Norpoth's election model. After seeing how useless polls seem to have been for several past elections, it's no wonder that some analysts are starting to do without them and coming up with different ways to predict electoral outcomes. One of them is Professor Helmut Norpoth from Stony Brook University in New York. His philosophy when it comes to predicting presidential elections is to completely disregard opinion polls and to base his predictions on actual electoral results, in particular, those of the primary elections. Using his model, Professor Norpoth has been able to successfully forecast 5 out of the last 6 elections, and in retrospective 25 out of the last 27, which is a pretty good track record to say the least. Using his current model, he predicts that Trump will win by a landslide that will make even the Hillary debacle of 2016 seem like a close call. According to the political science professor, there's a 90% chance that Trump will win 362 votes out of the 538 available, leaving Biden with only a mere 176 votes, almost 30 less than what Hillary got when she lost to President Trump. While 25 out of 27 may be quite an impressive feat by any standard, there's another professor who has a perfect record predicting elections for the past 40 or so years. That's twice the number of elections predicted by Norpoth, and with a perfect score so far. But could that change this time around? Keep watching to find out. The keys to the White House, Professor Litzmans model. Yes, history professor Alan Lichtman has been predicting elections ever since a renowned Russian seismologist who specializes in predicting earthquakes teamed up with him to make a robust system that could be used to forecast what the people of the United States would do on Election Day. The beauty of his model is the absurd simplicity of it, and anyone can understand it. Even though a convinced Democrat, Lichtman successfully predicted Trump's victory over Hillary when almost everyone else was saying otherwise. And can you guess what he foresees happening in November? He predicts Biden will win. But wait, weren't we talking about why Trump will win the elections and not Biden? Yes, we were, and we still are. Before your brain oozes out of your nose, you need to know that there's a flaw in one of Lichtman's arguments when he applies his own model to predict the 2020 election. Let's go in a bit deeper next. Litzmans Flaw. Although immensely complex to develop, the model itself turned out to be very simple. It's a set of 13 keys on which the incumbent party is evaluated to determine if it will remain in the White House or lose power. If 6 or more of the 13 keys are false or against the ruling party, they will lose the election, a metaphorical political earthquake. Here's how Professor Lichtman sees the current electoral climate according to his 13 keys. Key number 1, midterm gains. Republicans lost the U.S. House midterms. Key number 2, no primary contest. No Republican challenged Trump, so this favors Republicans. Key number 3, incumbent seeking re-election. Obviously true. Key number 4, no third party. Absolutely true. Key number 5. Strong short-term economy. It would have been true if it weren't for the pandemic. Key number 6. Strong long-term economy. Also false because the pandemic undid any long-term growth of the past several years. Key number 7. Major policy changes. True thanks to Trump's executive orders that have undone most major changes of the Obama era. Key number 8. No social unrest. Do we really need to elaborate how false this is? Key number 9. No scandal. Trump has several scandals up his sleeve, but Litzman focuses this key on the fact that he was impeached. Key number 10. No foreign/military failures. So far, this is true. Kim Jong-un still hasn't launched his missiles, so we're still good. Key number 11. Major success in foreign policy. So far, false. Key number 12. Charismatic incumbent. The professor argues that Trump may appeal to a narrow group of his followers, but he's not a particularly lovable guy overall, so he puts this one at false. Key number 13. Uncharismatic challenger. This one is true to a fault. So, according to Litzman, Trump fails in 7 keys and would therefore lose the White House. But 2 of those keys can be called into question. While Trump was indeed impeached, he was also acquitted, so that one doesn't really count against him. And while it is undeniable that Biden is by no means charismatic, Trump is set as quite a leader and inspiration for those who follow him. So, in our opinion, Litzman may have just made an understandably biased judgment in that particular key. Once we add it all up, we get 7 keys in favor of the Republicans, and Trump winning the re-election using the most fail-proof model we know today. After seeing all the evidence, do you still think that Biden stands a chance of unseating the president in 2020, making Trump the 9th US president to lose a re-election? Or will Trump manage to bend the system to his advantage and thwart the popular vote yet again? Leave your thoughts in the comments section below and join the discussion. We'd love to hear from you. In the meantime, remember to share, like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for our upcoming videos. And hey, don't think for a second that we forgot about those prophecies pointing to a Trump victory we mentioned a moment ago. If you want to learn all about it, make sure to check out this video that's popping up on your screen right now. Some of those revelations will send shivers down your spine. Stay safe, and thanks for watching.